And when will you be 78?
I'll be 78 in June, this coming next June next year.
June what?
June the 26th.
June 26th. Can you think of anything, Patricia, that you want to ask?
Well, I might say that at this time that, grandchildren very seldom say too much or are too sentimental, but I think that we have had many, many good times at Grandma and Granddad Weaver's house, and that I know that in many, many years to come that we will always remember these get-togethers with the kids and the grandparents and think back on the nice times we've had together.
I know, C.W., I would like to have my grandparents on so that I can hear their voices now, and I think a long time from now, maybe 20 or 30 or 40 years from now, C.W. will like to listen back and hear his great-grandparents, because most people don't have a chance to do that. So that's why we wanted to get all this on tape. And
We'd have had a Grana.
So we could...
So you could
Yeah.
Well, at Christmas time, will we be up there at Christmas time? At Christmas time, we'll bring this tape back, and
Frida and me's got to go to Howard to sing tonight.
people don't have a chance to do that. So that's why we wanted to get all this on tape. And
We'd have had a Grana.
So we could...
So you could
sing.
Well, at Christmas time, will we be up there at Christmas time? At Christmas time, we'll bring this tape back, and
Frida and me's got to go to Howard to sing tonight, and Willard could sing the song just well, not with it.
well, at Christmas, we'll put all these on tape. We meant to, when was it? We meant to put these
Just
on
last
tape.
summer before we went to Fort
But we
Worth.
forgot to, and so at Christmas time, well, we'll put all
We'll
this
bring
on
it down,
tape.
and then we'll have all the groups singing.
But you know, Hubert Howell told me, he says, don't ever, you let that shut off.
No, you go ahead. They'll want to hear your natural voice.
To never have singing recorded on a tape recorder. So he says you'll be disappointed.
Well,
if you want to hear it, he says go and have a record made.
You are a little disappointed, and this is not a real good recorder here, but I think it would be better having it on this than not having it at all.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised. We'll turn this off and then play it back here and see how
The
it
thing
sounds.
is, don't, the music, what I've heard on tape recorders, as you as a rule don't come out too good.
No, it doesn't come out too good.
Not as good as just the talking.
No. Let's see what. Let's leave it at this volume, and we'll see if it comes in just a little bit better. What did you think about the? Did you think this sounded like you?
Yeah, pretty much. I said a good many wells. I noticed that'd be natural, I guess.
That's very natural,
But my voice is really a lower tone than I thought it was.
Did
Volume.
you think it sounds like Granddad Weaver?
Well, I just,
Do you think?
he does well.
Better than I thought.
Surely with him.
You think it sounds like you usually can't tell how you sound yourself, really, to someone else. But do you think it sounds like Grandma Weaver?
Pretty much, yeah.
What about Pat and I? Do you think it?
I think Pat was the most natural of the three of us.
Okay. Now what we want to do is just tell your name and where you were born.
He is, you might have to, he's the youngest
Okay.
of Grandpa Weaver's three children.
Okay.
Arthur.
Younger. No.
Is that right? Oh, well, you might
She's
say
young.
I'm the second son.
Well, just give us your name and
Willard Weaver, second son of Thomas and Lena Weaver,
where were you born?
near Tangier, Indiana.
And you want to tell us about your family?
That I have?
Yes.
Well, I have two children. Alfred, the oldest, and Wilma, 2 years younger.
How about your grandchildren?
Well, Alfred and his wife have a daughter, Linda, and Wilma and her husband, Dale, have a daughter, Pamela, and son, Philip.
All right. Now you just stay here. Don't run off. Do you want to give your name
Mildred Weaver,
and where were you born?
near Clinton, Indiana.
And how did you meet Uncle Willard?
In high school.
You go to the same high school?
Yeah.
Where'd you go to high school?
Good old Tangier.
And what year were you married?
1930.
Can you tell us anything about any interesting experiences you had, something you remember to tell us about? Did you, what about in school? Did you walk to school, or how'd you get to school?
I walked to school, and
How'd you get to school, Waters?
Well, I rode in the horse-drawn school wagon part of the time, and when I went to high school, I walked part of the time we drove a horse and buggy.
Well, tell us a little bit about the horse-drawn school buses.
Well, of course, they was very slow, and they were heated with a little stove about 1.5 feet tall, and at that they were pretty cool in the wintertime, but then it was much better than walking through the snow.
What kind of lighting did you have in your house earlier, when you were young?
coal oil lamp.
And tell us something about some of the kitchen utensils you used at that time. It hasn't been too long ago, but quite a few changes come about in the last few years.
Well, at first we had a coal range, and in the summertime we had a coal oil stove to cook on. It made it cooler.
How about refrigerators and so forth?
Yeah, I had by eye. Had a nice spot.
Talking about the lighting, I can remember when maybe we'd be out of kerosene, and my mother would melt some lard and put it in the pan and hang a wick in that pan, and we would have a light made from lard.
Did you go to nurses training after you were out of high school?
Yeah.
Where did you go?
Methodist Hospital, Indianapolis.
Can you tell us anything about any changes that have come about in nursing since the time you went?
Well, what the nurses make, I only made $6 a day. And I don't know what they make now. But
You know that really there hasn't been as much
No.
change there, and in the $6 a day. And last year when I worked up there, I think when I was working in Princeton, I think we made $11 a day.
Well, that was private duty, though. They get a good
Oh.
bit more than that for private duty.
Yes, we got
It
14.
wasn't 8 hours, it was 20 hours.
20-hour duty. So when I was in nurses training, I did get 20 cents a day. I didn't have to pay anything to go.
Well, what about the operations at that time, the difference of then and now?
Oh, I don't know much about them. How they're now.
What was the approximately the average length of recovery for an appendectomy at that time? Was it 3 weeks or 7 days?
Oh, about 14 days. I think they keep me in bed about 14 days. And gallbladder case and everything, the stem set up till for about 2 weeks.
And now
They're up
they're up the very next day, and sometimes that day is rare.
Do you think of anything else? I have one here. Can we go to the next?
I think that's enough.
You want to give us your name?
I don't want to, no.
Well, will you? Tell us what your name is and where you were born.
Green Township.
You want to get your name on here?
First?
Both names.
Oh, both names. Homer Smiley.
And you were born in Green Township. Did you go to school out there?
Yes, sir.
And how long ago has this been that you were born in Green Township?
58 years ago.
15 years ago. When were you 58?
Oh, we'll be in March.
Will be in March. Okay. You want to get your name on here?
Olive Smiley.
And where were you born?
Park County, I guess. Or near Tangier.
And
You might put in that you are. We have them on Granddad on that, so it's not really
Daughter of Thomas Weaver. Mm-hmm.
and where did you meet your husband?
Well, I met him in the kitchen. I was washing dishes, and my brother was going with his sister, and they came through our kitchen, and my brother introduced him to me. You're Paul. And it wasn't but about a week, and he wrote me a letter, and we had a date.
You know, I always do that about my Uncle Homer. He's a fast herder. Isn't that right?
How far did you have to go? How far did you live from her?
Oh, about 15 miles.
Now, what year was this in?
Oh,
approximately?
1921.
Did you go by automobile or horse? Or,
Automobile.
and what about phones and that? Did you have telephones at that time?
We did, but they didn't.
Too far to call.
Say something on tape now, so we're careful. Well, you want to tell us about your family?
My own immediate family?
Yes, your children.
Well, we have 3 children. Phyllis is the oldest, and then in 13 years, Rebecca was born. In 19 months, Rachel was born.
Uncle Homer, you want to tell us how to account for this long distance between your family?
I laid on one side of the bed.
Well, would you have any advice for me on this type situation?
Follow the same pattern.
Always stick with it?
Yeah.
Well,
that's all I can know.
do you have anything else you want to put on here, Tricia?
You might ask them about their grandchildren.
Oh yeah, I forgot about your grandchildren. I'm going to have your grandchildren on here. You want to tell us about your grandchildren?
Well, we have 2 granddaughters.
8 years difference in them.
So somebody else laying on one side of the bed too.
We'll have to ask Kenny when he gets here.
Too late.
Okay. And what we want you to do is sit down right here, Kenny, so you'll be a little closer together. And
Yeah, we
just
want to
you
be close together.
Uh-huh. Give your name and where you were born.
I don't know where I was born. I wasn't there.
Well, give your name so we'll have
Phyllis Smiley Twitchell.
it. And when were you born?
In 1925
And
at Coloma, Indiana, in the most darling little house.
okay, Kenny, give your name and tell where you were.
Robert Kenneth Twitchell, Harrisburg, Illinois.
And how did you happen to meet Kenny? You remember when you met him?
Well, he says he met me one time, and I said I met him another, so we can't agree on even that.
Well, how long did it take him after he met you before you were married?
Kenny, you talk a little bit.
I
We
don't
met
know.
in February.
7 or 8 months.
After a ball game.
And when?
No.
What year were you married in?
43.
And what about? What was that during the war? Were you in service that time, Kenny? Were you?
No.
Were you in service later than that, or after that, or
3 weeks later.
3 weeks later. And did you go with him?
Oh,
to camp?
yes. I made more trips across the United States in a year than anybody else.
Where all were you stationed, Kenny, while you were in service?
Oh, California, Florida, Washington.
And go ahead, Trish. What do you want to say?
I was going to say the first we should have had that Phyllis was her daughter.
Well, you put that in.
Well, Phyllis is the daughter of Olive Smiley, who is the daughter of Thomas Weaver.
Okay. And what experiences did you have in service, Kenny, that you can tell us about any?
I'd as soon not talk about them.
What experiences did you have, Phyllis?
What, while he was in service?
Yeah.
Well, I lived with his brother and his wife in Washington for about 4 months on this, what is that, Kenny? Tommy's place out in Washington. And then I went to beauty school while he was in the service. And, let's see. Well, the rest we'll just keep quiet.
What about your children? You want to tell us their names and ages?
We have a daughter, Elaine, who will be 12 the 13th of December, and a daughter, Lynette, who was 4 in October.
Now, we asked Uncle Homer about the difference in ages of his family, and he gave us some advice. Do you want to give us any advice from this?
No, ours was planned to be that different.
Oh. Well, you don't have any particular advice. Would you advise that that's a good idea, having that?
No, I wouldn't. I'd say to have them closer than that. Because just like in school things, you
work 8 or 12 years with one child, and then you work 8 or 12 years with the next child, and you have them close together, you can get it all over with at once.
Yeah, but how about the advantage of having a babysitter for the younger one?
Well, it hasn't worked that way with that
Oh.
yet.
Okay.
Although she is a lot of help. The big one is.
You want to ask anything else, Tricia? Okay, thank you very much. Now, what we want to do is get you tell us what your name is and where you were born. You don't have to speak too close into this will be okay, I'll hold it.
Alfred Weaver, Tangier, Indiana.
All right, and you want to give your name?
Sue Weaver, Tangier.
All right, and were you born in Tangier?
Clinton.
You were born in Clinton.
Clinton Hospital.
Have you lived, did you live all your life around Tangier?
No, well, Lodi first 5 years.
And you want to tell us about your daughter, how old she is, and so forth? Her name?
Her name's Linda, and she's will be 3 in May.
All right. Where did you meet Frida?
At Hugo.
At Cuba. And when was it, approximately?
All about January 1953.
And where were you at the time? How'd you happen to meet Alfred? Did you have this planned, or?
Yeah, it was planned.
And,
My girlfriend and her boyfriend brought Alfred along, and we had contact.
And did you date quite frequently after that?
Yeah.
Let's say you were with Alfred when he was in service, weren't you? You lived in where? Where did you live then?
Mount Clemens, Michigan.
And can you tell about interesting experiences you had living there, or anything?
Well, Linda was born out there
And-
in the base hospital.
What do you think about base hospitals in general? I mean, was it a nice hospital? I mean, would you
Oh,
say?
about average, I reckon. It wasn't too open life, but it was.
What did you do in service, Alfred? What was your chief job?
I was radar maintenance.
And what type of training did you get, and so forth?
I had about 6 months of electronics fundamentals, and then about 6 months in the fire patrol.
And what actually did you do? I mean, what kind of work was it? I mean, what kind of a job did you do? Say one day you went out, and what did you do?
Oh, just
Were you a repairman or
yes,
repair? But what kind of what kind of jobs were you called upon to do? I mean, what were some of the jobs that you can remember doing?
oh, mostly just alignment of radars, of the radar set.
Did you put in tubes or
Yeah.
changes and so forth?
Changing off on.
What did you do most of this time while he was working? I mean, what did you do for entertainment?
Well, we knew a couple, Gary and Betty Snuggs, and they had a little girl a year older than Linda, and we visited about every day. We'd get together and go to town and walk. And,
What about the weather up there? Did you find it different than here?
oh, I don't think it was too much different. Didn't seem to be.
Tricia, do you have a question?
Well, I was going to say here we made a mistake too. Alfred is the son of Willard Weaver, who is the second son of Thomas Weaver.
Okay. She wants to get this all down so she'll know who all these people are in case she forgets.
No, this is for Cedar.
Can you think of anything else? Oh, yes. Okay. Thank you very much. We're getting the names of all the people here so that CW can have them later on. Do you want to give us your name?
Yes, I'm Florence Thompson,
And where were you born?
near Tangier.
And you want to give your relationship to CW. I mean,
Well, now let me see. I'm his grandfather's first cousin. I'd be his mother's second cousin. I'd be his third cousin.
so this is CW's third cousin.
Right.
Now, where did you go to school?
I went to school at Tangier.
And then after that, well, you want to go ahead and tell us?
Oh, then I went to, I graduated from Bloomingdale High School. Then I went to Indiana State Teachers College, then Indiana University, then Ohio University, then the University of Chicago,
Where did you get your various degrees? From what school?
BS at Indiana State, MS at Ohio, PhD at Chicago, and now I'm living in Terre Haute, and I'm Dean of Women at Indiana State Teachers College, and C.W.'s mother went to Indiana State Teachers College part of the time, and C.W.'s dad, he graduated from Indiana State Teachers College.
What was your major field when you were working on your PhD?
Personnel.
And did you have any minor areas of study?
No,
What foreign language did you have?
I didn't have to take a foreign language. I had a very special dispensation given me, and instead of having to qualify in foreign languages, I had to take special examinations in psychology.
I see. If CW listens to this, say 50 years from now, do you have anything you'd like to say that about what you think the world will be like 50 years from now?
It will be wonderful.
What?
If it is at all, it will be wonderful.
Do you have a prediction that you think that you'd want to make about, say, we'll say the year 2000? What the world?
No, that would be clear beyond my imagination. But
do you think the people will have visited the moon and Mars and all those planets for that time?
oh, undoubtedly.
And do you think that, what about the work week? How many hours do you predict we'll be working at that time?
Oh, probably not more than what we think of now as 1 day a week.
And what prediction do you have about the training, college training and so forth? How many people will be taking college training? What percent of our students will be taking college training in the year 2000?
Well, what we think of now as college training, a BS degree, will be completely outdated. It will probably amount to no more than high school does now.
How many people will be going on and doing graduate work? Do you think that percentage will be similar now to the percentage that are doing BS work?
Probably.
And what forms of recreation do you think we'll have at that time? Will we still be playing college football and basketball, do you suppose, at that time?
No, I don't believe so. I think we'll be more sophisticated. I don't know what we'll be doing, but we'll not be doing that, I don't believe.
Do you think that, what about our standard of living at that time will be greatly different?
It will make what we have now seem just as pioneer as what our grandmothers had, surely.
Well, do you think that within your lifetime that you will be riding in any spaceships, or you'll have your own plane or anything of that kind? Do you think
right
it's
now,
coming
I don't
that
know.
fast?
I can't see at this point how I can afford it financially, but if I could, I would certainly think. I wouldn't have my own. I don't believe in my own lifetime, but I don't believe we'll be riding in these airplanes that are piston motors more than 4 or 5 more years now. We'll all be riding jet planes in 5 more years.
Think we'll have our own helicopters, maybe?
Probably.
Okay, well, thanks very much. Your name and tell us where you were born and so forth. Full name. No, it isn't.
Rebecca Joanne Smiley, and I was born in Clinton, Indiana.
And tell us a little bit about where you went to school and so forth.
Oh dear, I went to school at Rockville High School. I graduated from Rockville High School in 1956. I am now going to nurse's training at Union Hospital in Terre Haute.
And you want to tell us a little bit about your activities and so forth that you liked, that you participated in? Like, what about high school activities? What activities did you like there?
I was on the student council, and I was in Rainbow when I was in high school, and Y teams and GAA and things like that.
What about your plans for the future? How many children are you going to have after you're married?
Well, I really don't know.
Well, how many do you want to make a guess and then sometimes 50 years from now, we'll play this record for you and you can see how right you
Okay, I'll say 2.
are. 2. Do you plan to have 2 boys or 2 girls or one of each?
One of each.
One of each. And what do you think about the year 2000? You should be living in the year 2000. You want to make any predictions about it? Do you think you'll have your own helicopter or anything, or do you think you'll be
Well-
visiting the moon or anything of that kind?
I don't know if I will, but I think people will be.
And do you have anything prediction you want to make that about yourself between now and then? Anything startling that may happen? So.
Hello. Here, I'll hold these for you while you read the book. Oh, no.
Now, you go ahead, Lynette, and tell us about what your sister's name is,
Elaine Tractor.
and tell us about what's your grandmother's name.
Have a think.
The one that's here today, you tell us about her. What's her name?
Her name's we call her Gaga.
Uh-huh. And what about your grandfather? What's his name? What do you call him?
Homer.
And you tell us what your name is.
Linda.
And what's your mother's name?
Mommy.
And what's your daddy's name?
Dad Thomas.
And what's your granddad's name?
Grandpa Weaver.
And your grandmother? What's her name?
Now her name's just Grandma Weaver.
And what did you have for dinner today?
Some roast beef and some mashed potatoes.
And what else did you have?
Some meat and gravy and
Are you having lots of fun, are you? And who are you playing with?
Nick and Deborah.
And who else are you playing with? Anyone else? Frida, why don't you come here and ask her some questions? While she's going to talk to you, tell me good. What's that?
What's Santa Claus gonna bring you?
Toys.
Well, what else? What is that one thing you want him to bring you?
A dog.
What kind?
Blue.
Well, no, not. It's what? What kind of dog?
White.
What kind? Who do you watch every morning about 8 o'clock?
Captain Kangaroo.
Who?
Captain Kangaroo.
Who's on Captain Kangaroo's show? Who's that little boy with a funny hat? Yeah, you do. And he's got a dog, and what's his dog's name? Tell it right there. What's that dog's name?
Her name is
Marty.
Marty. Mine's like a render dog.
And
Bella.
Well, you tell us what your dog's name is.
Bella.
And what kind of a dog is he? What's Dad say he is?
Oh,
What? What?
good morning.
Well, you're not talking very loud.
Good morning.
A dumb-looking bunny. And ask Mama who's your barber. Say, who's my barber, Mama?
It's my barber.
Who is your barber?
Carter.
Well, you talk loud so that we can hear you, will you?
Horse Carter.
What do you want Santa Claus to bring you?
Oh,
What do you want Santa Claus to bring you?
oh.
Do you think that you children could sing a song for us and record the song? Do you all know Jesus Loves Me? Let's sing Jesus Loves Me. Do you want to start it, Lynette, since you're the biggest?
Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so. Little ones to him belong, but he is so. Yes, Jesus loves me, yes, Jesus loves me, yes, Jesus loves me.
Okay. Hey. Well, just say, tell us what your name is. You tell us what your name is.
My name's
Well, here.
Nancy.
Well, you talk into it, see.
My name's Nancy.
And where do you live?
My house.
And where is your house? Where's your house? What street's your house on? 9.
90247.
And what's the name of the town? Fort Wayne.
In Indiana.
And what's your name?
Oh, stop it.
And what's your last name?
Oh, boy.
And what do you say when the phone rings? What do you tell people?
Oh,
Weaver, you give your name. Tell where you were born.
Okay, it's Paul Weaver. I was born in Liberty Township.
What about your middle name?
Commons. And,
Go ahead.
that's my mother's folks.
Your birthday.
April 6th, 1901.
Where were you born?
I was born in Lafayette, September the 6th, 1902. 2 years later, my father and mother were Mort and Hattie Goddard. I was the second daughter. I had a sister, Ruby, that was 11 years older than I am. A sister, Mildred, that's 4 years younger than I am.
How did you happen to get all the way down to Tangier?
Well, my father's uncle lived at Tangier, and he had lived there for some time. The folks moved down there when I was 6 weeks old, and we've lived all around there then the rest of our life. We lived at, or the rest of their lives. We lived down by West Union, and I went to school at West Union for a while, and then we moved back up in the Fairview neighborhood, and I went to Hunt School for a year or so. Then I started in at Tangier when I was in the 4th grade, and I went there then until I graduated from high school in 1922.
Where did you go to school, Weaver?
Oh, let's see. I started in at the Hadley School. Walked 2 miles. Then I went to Bloomingdale, Pinoak School, and then to Tangier, and then to Sobaden, then back to Tangier, and quit in sophomore year.
What did you do after that?
Well, I worked in Terre Let's see, then I worked on home, then I wound up in Indianapolis, then Lafayette, then back to Indianapolis. And then we were married, Ruth and I, and
What year was that?
well, it was 22.
22.
22. And then Gee, it's a long story.
How did you happen to meet?
Well, we went to Rockville to the State Centennial
What year was that?
in 1916. And we was in a horse-drawn school bus, and we took all the kids from Tangier School. And I was in the bus in front of Ruth, the front of the bus that she was in. And we got to, I guess she got to flirting with me. It's no kidding, it's actual truth. She got to flirting with me, so we got to Rockville. And nothing there but what she was set by me all during the procedure. And so from then on, then we got to writing letters. I wish I had some of them to read for you. And so then went on, and then we quit writing letters. It went on then for a good many years till I was in, I went to Iowa and came back from Iowa, and we was up at my cousin's, who was as far as Thompson's folks. And so her brother, Eugene, and me went up for a load of hay, and Ruth had come walking up the road before we got back, but Ruth and Florence's sister.
Well, wasn't it was Olive?
Yeah, it was Florence and Olive. And so they got on the wagon to ride back down the house on a load of hay. And so, I don't know, we just got started going together again. First thing you know, we got married.
Well, now, how many in Florence's family?
Oh, there's, let's see, there's Gladys, the oldest, and then Thelma, and Eugene, and Jay Frank, and then Florence, and then half-brother Seth Wood, and a half-sister Grace Wood.
Are they all living?
And a half-brother, Art Thompson.
Yeah, and half-brother Art Thompson. No,
Art is dead.
That's Steph. Yeah, half-brother. Art's dead.
Well, now, when did her parents die?
Florence,
Uh-huh.
oh, I forget.
Now,
Good
that
while
was
ago.
Grandma's
That was your dad's
Granddad's
sister.
sister.
Oh, yeah,
Her
Granddad's
sister.
sister.
Has it been a good while ago?
Yes, some long time, I don't know.
Let's see, that was before Aunt Matt died, I believe, before Patricia was born, didn't
Well, Miles died and we lived at Hayworth. That was before Pat was born. Because I know we
Well,
went up
didn't Aunt
there.
Matt die there before Pat was born, too?
I don't recall.
She died at Grace's, and didn't we live at, didn't we?
Yes, no. No, we lived in Rockville when she died, or someplace. But
I remember
I know
that.
we did live at Hayworth, I guess.
No,
I
I
know we were
remember
down
when Aunt
there.
Matt died.
No,
Oh,
I
that's
don't know
right.
how you can.
Why, yes, we went up on 36 at that brick house, and that's where they lived? Or did Gladys and Harry live there? That
Oh,
brick
Gladys and
house
Harry lived up there.
near Gypsville.
But we lived at Matt.
234, that's where Gladys and Harry lived.
I thought Aunt Matt died at Grace's.
She did.
We were down there.
Yes, I know we did.
We were down there because there's
We
that
must have
salt.
lived at Hayworth's, or I mean at Featherston's place. when
No,
she
maybe
died.
we did, 36 maybe.
Well, let's see, when were you born, Mama?
1930.
30?
Where were we living when I was born? In Hayward?
Just south of,
Hayward place, south of Mecker, east of Mecker.
And what were you doing then? We were
Working on a farm.
Then where did you go from there?
Oh, let's see, went from there to Harry Duncans, Kingman. And from there to Montezuma. And
There at Terre Haute?
no, from there to Tangier.
Oh,
Then worked for the county.
Granddad and her grandmother Weaver was sick, and
Yeah,
we
we went up there
moved
to
in
stay
with
there.
them and worked a year.
Worked a year first. Then went to work for the county.
Then your dad went to diesel school.
Yeah,
He
When was
went-
that now? We were
37. Let's see, 36 and 37. Went
oh
to diesel
no.
school, yes.
I went to
What?
school in 36, and that was, we were living in Rockville. You went to school with the year we lived with Grandma and Granddad.
I don't know.
Yes, and you come back that fall and Pat started school.
We moved
That
to
was
Rockville.
36.
That's right,
36.
36.
Then where did you work?
So,
On the county, for the county.
worked for the county.
Then you came to Terre Haute.
No, that's it.
Yes, you did.
Yes, we did.
You
We
went-
lived at Montezuma.
You worked at the county, and we moved to Montezuma, and
Oh, yeah, then I worked for Hargis.
then you come to
Black
work
Hawk.
for Hargis.
Terre Haute, and then to Ohio,
Ohio.
Then to Ohio for the Air Corps.
Rockville,
Civilian, back to Rockville, and then to Alaska,
and then to Alaska.
Now, when did you go to Alaska? What year was that?
44.
And then
Yeah,
we were there.
What time in 44?
August, shipped out in August.
Came back the following September.
Mm-hmm.
And we lived in Rockville for a number of years.
Worked for Slum Company.
And then back to Terre
And then
Haute.
back to church.
To the present time.
And that's true. Of course, there's a lot of little jobs in there that I forgot all about.
Now, Grandma and Granddad's daughters, why don't we get something about them?
Where were they born? Were they both born near Lafayette?
They were born in Fountain County.
Is that, now that's Lafayette, isn't it?
No, that's up around Stone Bluff and,
Kingman.
no,
No,
it's Stone
not-
Bluff and north
Stone
of
Bluff and
Petersburg.
Covington, up in that
And
neighborhood.
they lived there till,
Both of them born in the same county?
well, I think so,
No.
I don't remember.
Good.
My mother's, was the oldest of, let's see, 7 children.
What was her name before she married?
Stevenson.
They were Dutch.
And they were 5 girls and 2 boys. And out of this 7 children, they all died with TB, except my mother and 1 brother.
Well, that daughter's born over here by Greencastle, Ruth. Wasn't it?
Yes.
That's where all his family came from. That's where he grew up, over on Big Walnut Creek.
Well, maybe that's true. I don't know. But then there's where they was at when they was
I
married.
know it.
My
His dad got up there and went to work for Jackie Stucker, and that's when they met. And he was working for Jackie Stucker.
my mother was put out to work when she was 11 years old, and she worked for this family and went to school and was just like one of their own children, other than the fact that she had to work pretty hard. And they were, the people that she lived with was name was Brown, and we called them Grandma and Grandpa Brown. They were just like our own parents.
Now, were her parents not living at that time?
Well, no, they were still living. They, I can remember when they came to see us after I was old enough to remember. And my grandmother, she died with TB too.
How many years were Grandma and Granddad got her married?
Was 61 or 2 years. 62.
Can't remember. So
62 years.
It's over 60
How old,
years.
Grandma's daughter was how old when she died?
80.
Just give your name, your full name,
Rachel Jean Smiley,
and tell where you were born, when,
Vermilion County, March 28, 1940,
and where'd you go to school?
Rockville.
And what relation are you to C.W.'s mother?
First cousin.
First cousin.
And what are you doing now?
Talking over the...
Well, I mean, what are you going to school now?
Yes.
What kind of school are you going to?
Business school.
And when do you plan to finish?
Sometime in January.
And are you going to get a job then?
Yes.
Where?
I don't know for sure.
Where would you like to get a job?
Someplace up in Indianapolis.
Okay. Do you want to give us your name?
Lane Fitchell.
And where were you born?
Clinton.
And how old are you?
12.
And you want to tell us where you go to school and so forth?
Linden, Indiana.
And tell us what grade you're in, who your teacher is, and so forth.
I'm in 7th grade and I have a whole lot of teachers.
Well, who are some of them?
Oh gosh. Oh, Mrs. Ray, Mr. Craigbaum, Mr. Mearsbaugh, Mr. Norris, Mrs. Mount. That's all I can think of.
And what relation are you to C.W.'s mother?
I don't know.
What relation is your mother to his mother?
First cousin.
So that'd make you her second cousin, so that'd make you C.W.'s third cousin. Is there anything else you want to say?
No.
I want you to give your name, and you can hold it about that distance. That'll be close enough. Give your name and tell where you were born. Go ahead.
You ready?
Yeah, that's ready.
Well, my name's John Harvey. I was born in Terre Haute. December 15th, 1905.
Where'd you go to school?
Went to school at Garfield High School, Rose Polytechnic.
And where are you now? You live
Working for the International Harvester Company in Chicago.
Have you always been with them?
Been with them for 30 years now.
Do you want to tell what relation you are to C.W.'s mother?
That's a good question.
Well, first to give your relationship to Granddad Weaver, and then
Well, let's see, your mother and myself are first cousins. That would make you a second. Yeah. That'd be a second cousin.
So it'd be C.W.'s third
It'd
cousin.
be your third cousin.
and your mother then
Is
was Granddad Weaver's
sister.
sister.
That's right.
You want to tell us a little bit about your trip?
Well, I just came back from a trip, left the day after Thanksgiving, took a 3-week trip into the Caribbean, went to Puerto Rico, Guadalupe, Martinique, Barbados, Grenada, Trinidad, Caracas in Venezuela, Curacao, and the island of Aruba where the Standard Oil refinery is, 6 days in Jamaica, back to Chicago.
What did you see that impressed you most?
Oh, the different types of native life, particularly in the 2 French islands, and the extent of the type of people, the poverty that you see, and the extreme wealth in other places.
Can you think of any example of poverty? I mean, one thing that impressed you?
Well, there's different types of poverty down there. You know, last year we was in Haiti. Those people are terribly poor and very unhappy. The people we saw this year don't have much, but they were happy. Heck, they didn't give a darn. They had enough to live, and they could raise things, and they got along fine.
Now, what we're putting this on tape for, maybe 20 or 30 or 40 years from now, C.W. will be able to play this back and hear people's voices that you might want to remember. And some people are making predictions about what life will be like, say, in the year 2000. You want to make a prediction?
That would be good if you could do it, wouldn't it? Well, I think if things keep on as they have, transportation will be a lot different. I think steamboats and trains will be almost obsolete, and it'll be all air travel.
You think we'll have visited Mars and the Moon and all those places for that
It's
time?
possible, but as it looks to me, I can't see that unless there is interplanetary life already, it may be that we're so backdate that these other people are afraid to come in here. We may be like the heathen that we consider other people.
Well, that's not possible. Well, do you have any other comments you'd like to make?
Well, I can tell him that if I tried to get his picture today and he was a stinker, he wouldn't be still.
Do you know anything about his mother or his grandparents that you'd like to relate?
Let's see, I don't know of anything particular. I know his granddad was quite a guy. We played together when we were kids. He always very ingenious and devising ways to have a good time without much to do it with, as it was when we were kids.
All right, we might put the date on here. Today is, let's see, December
the 28th.
1958. And most of the other recordings of the rest of the family were made on Thanksgiving Day of 1958. So that'll establish the date on there. Okay, well, thank you very much. We want to try to get everyone's voice on here. Do you want to give your name?
Wilma Corey,
And where were you born?
Tangier,
And tell us where you went to school.
Tangier.
And what about your relationship to C.W.'s mother?
First cousin.
So that'd make you C.W.'s second cousin. You want to tell a little bit about your family here?
Well, Tammy is 4 years old, and Phil will be 2 in February.
Okay. Can you give us your name?
Pam,
And how old are you?
4.
And what else can we have her say, Patricia?
Do you have a poem that you can say? Can you think of a poem? Can you sing a song? Will you sing a song for us?
Jesus loves me, yes I know, for the Bible tells me so. Little ones to him below, they are weak and he is strong. Yes, Jesus loves me, yes, Jesus loves me. Yes, Jesus loves me, the Bible tells me so.
That's pretty good. I think that'll come out real well. Do you want to give us your name?
Dale Corey.
And where were you born?
Danville, Illinois.
And did you go to school in Danville?
No, I went to school in Tangier.
And where else have you gone to school?
Purdue University.
And what are you doing now?
Teaching agriculture at Waynestown.
And do you want to say a little bit about where you were when you were in service and so forth?
Well, in service, I spent most of my time at Fort Eustis, going to going to Louisiana on a maneuver for 3 months. The rest of the time,
They don't
was
run
Fort
off
Eustis.
here. We will get you too. Can you, Phil? Can you tell us what your name is here? Huh? Can you tell us what your name is? Can you tell us what you got for Christmas? You can. I doubt we're going to get him to say much. We'll probably have to get him sometime later. Can you say something for us?
What do you have in your hand?
What is that you have there? Huh? We'll get that on there. Well, we'll see what we... Testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Just tell me your name and where you were born.
Thomas Weaver, born Liberty Township, Park County, Indiana.
Where were your parents born?
Parents are both born in the same community.
How about grandparents?
Well, I'm not so sure about my grandparents. On my mother's side, they were, I think, born in Park County. On my father's side, my grandfather, great-grandfather was supposed to come from Pennsylvania.
What about, have you ever taken any trips anywhere?
Oh, not very far away from home. Been over in Michigan on a fishing trip and been down in Missouri. Time or two is about as far away from home as I've ever been.
What about changes that have come about since you were younger? What's the greatest changes you've seen that have come about?
Well, right now I would say, without any further thought, I would say the change from the horse and buggy days to the days of automobiles and airplanes.
Do you have any hobbies or other things that you like to do? What are the favorite things you like to do?
You mean sports or
anything that you'd like to do?
Well, I always like to fish and I always like to hunt.
Well, sometime when CW grows up, say 20 years from now, would you have any message you'd like to give to him just offhand without thinking about it?
Well, I hardly know what to say about that. The only thing is that the environment will probably be changed so much from what it is now that I just couldn't say what advice I would want to give him.
Okay, I'll switch over now. You want to give your name?
Lena Weaver,
And where were you born?
Park County.
And where were your parents born?
They were born in Park County.
How about grandparents?
Well, I just wouldn't know.
Don't know where they were.
Don't know
where they came from. What
no,
state?
I don't. The grandfather, my mother's father, came from Plainfield, I reckon. I don't know just where they come from. They were Irish descent. That's what they were.
How do you remember them well? How old were you?
I was married and had left my family before they died.
What year were you married?
58.
1858?
Yes. Be 9 years this 9 years this coming April.
What interesting experiences have you had? Do you remember anything offhand that you can think of?
Well, I remember that I used to walk from where we lived, which was up close to Fountain County, from down to Sylvania to trade.
How far was that?
Oh, that was about 4 or 5 miles.
How long did it take you to walk it?
Well, I never timed it. It was kind of a pleasure to get to go.
Did you walk to school?
I didn't have to walk very far. We had a school close by.
How many? Was it a one-room school or
One-room
two-room?
school.
How many students do you remember having in your
Well,
class?
I don't just remember exactly. The school building was almost full of different ages.
How many teachers can you remember offhand having?
Well, I'd have to count. Elwood Jackson was my first teacher. And Molly Radd, Judy Swain, and Ethel Orsman, and well, just offhand, I can't just don't remember the rest. Mattie Jackson was one of them.
Did you grow up in the same community with Granddad Weaver?
Yes, I did.
When did you first meet him? Do you remember when you first met him, or did you just grow up with him?
Well, I used to be a glee club at Sylvania, and he sang in a glee club, and I had a brother that sang with him, and I always went with him because the one that told him to sing was my music teacher.
Oh.
And of course I was interested in all of it.
How many, what did I say here? Oh, do you have anything you'd like to say to C.W. maybe a long time from now, whenever he's listening to this, sometime when he's a lot older?
If I could be living at that time, I'd want him to grow up and be a preacher. Because my father was a preacher.
Well, you might just do that. You never know.
You never know.
Do you have anything else, Granddad Weaver, that you thought of that you might want to say?
I don't believe I think of anything.
Let's see. Today is November what? November 27th. And how old are you today?
I'm still 79.
When will you be 80?
And March 3rd, 59.
March 3rd. And can I ask you how old you are?
Well, I'm 70.